of defense. In the meantime, all sorts of mines being put down on the field in the meantime. Mines also to defend the 6 o'clock base. We'll see if these Dragoons can take it out. There's 4 Dragoons bearing down at the 6 o'clock. There's also some mines kind of at the 3 o'clock position to deal with it, and the entire Dragoon force coming out to try to defend this additional nexus. And we'll see, it did not manage to stop the first mine from going off, so we've got 1 damaged Dragoon, 1 Dragoon taken down. And we'll see how, my question is now how does, and a mine being led into the last Dragoon there. A lot of a pretty good sized Dragoon force, but I expect it to be much larger in just a second here, because we've got 4 bases that are going to come online momentarily. We've got 3 bases already. 3 bases are up for Saddist, so Saddist managing to keep up economically, but still going to just kind of slightly fall economically behind. You want to stay 1 base ahead as Protoss, so this 10 o'clock position is going to be that. In the meantime, I'm trying to check for upgrades here. We got just 4 factories, 5th factory going down. In the meantime, for Saddist, level 1 weapons has been upgraded. The Vulture speed is now online, and now it looks like they're going to go out and try to create some havoc. There's a big Dragoon force gathering in the middle there for Ivy. Those looks like those Vultures are going to be able to sneak by. I don't see, wow, able to sneak by and once again create havoc at the 10 o'clock location. Mines being laid once again. Those Dragoons have to push out of the middle, and it looks like, interestingly enough, and the Vulture's going to come back around. It looks like they're just going to lay mines, try to be annoying as possible. That's the thing, they're cheap and they're annoying. Mines are going to be cleared though. In the meantime, there is an observer alongside to help deal with that though. Looks like some mine clearing also happening at that 3 o'clock location. So very, very, very anti-Vulture build here from Ivy, and a very, very economic build at the same time. He's got all sorts of gateways down. Looks like he's got 9 gateways up already, and I'm not even sure what stage of the game it is. And it looks like basically the strategy from this point from Saddist is just to make sure he can scout all the additional bases. He's taking the 12 o'clock, putting mines there. He's got an SCV behind at the bottom right-hand base. He just wants to make sure that no additional expansions are taken here, so he can maintain, maybe get additional expansion of his own and then maintain the economic advantage instead of having just kind of another blind expansion going up or just Dragoons pushing out in the meantime. Looks like some Dragoons going to come across this Vulture force. I don't think there's any mines left with these Vultures in the middle. Single mine being left on the on the ramp side, so when the Dragoons come up, they're going to have a hard time dealing with that without an observer. In the meantime, it looks like a pretty decent-sized defense force. Honestly, I'd expect it to be a little bigger at this stage of the game. About 9, a full control group of tanks basically spread across the front of the base. Some Vultures coming out, but they're kind of coming out piecemeal. There is a drop going in the upper left-hand corner. A cannon. Not quite coming up online. The drop is going to come up in the upper left-hand base. They are going to be, some Vultures coming in before this cannon, or just a second before this cannon's coming online. Going to be able to get the shields done. But now it's Siege Tank in the upper left-hand base. This is exactly what was needed here. And this is going to be, this absolutely sucks for Ivy. He's going to have a hard time. He's got his own, he's going to have to take down his own pylon to get through and defend this. And he's got the 3 forge at this location as well. So well-timed attack there by Saddist. He's not going to be able to take the Nexus down, but he is going to be able to stop production here in the meantime. A lot of mines laid, but the speed upgraded Zealot's able to clear a lot of that. Tank is now going to be taken out, and looks like the single Vulture that was there was also cleaned up. In the meantime, Saddist has capped the 6 o'clock location. Looks like he's also got that an SCV. He's going to take the bottom right-hand base, so getting down his 4th expansion, wants to maintain this economic lead. He sees a single mine, is basically scouting out the 12 o'clock location, seeing an additional base, so it's just turning into a gigantic economic game. The bottom half of the map, just going to Saddist, and the rest of the map, the northern half of the map, I should say, going to Ivy. I shouldn't say the rest, because the middle of the map is still very much in contention, as well as the 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock mineral-only locations. Anyway, I gotta say though, Ivy's got a huge attack force now. He's got all sorts of Dragoons, all sorts of Zealots in the middle of the map. He's also got the Observers to deal with the mines alongside. But a big attack force on the opposite end. Looks like there's going to be an engagement in the middle. I feel like Ivy's going to be a little bit ahead, because it looks like the attack force is just somewhat spread out. But sieging with a lot of tanks, so I take it back. We'll see. If I don't see anything to deal with. Just pure gateways here in the meantime. I was expecting to see Tech to Arbiter by now. I do see the Templar Archives, but I don't see any High Templar or Dark Templar out in the field in the meantime. The Dragoon's going to push around, going to pull an end around, not going to deal with those tanks at the siege position, going to go for the secondary. There aren't any tanks in defense, just a couple tanks in defense. I don't know if it's going to be enough though. Mostly Dragoons, some Zealots actually sitting idly behind. Now the Zealots pushing in for Ivy, but they're actually blockaded by those Dragoons. Needed to be in front there, and then that's going to give time for those siege tanks to come back around. In the meantime, Saddist is going to be able to get that additional expansion down the bottom right-hand base. He's probably going to take actually both expansions here. Yeah, going to take everything at the bottom right-hand base. And in the meantime, I'm surprised by this by Ivy. He's just gone straight gateways. I've got to assume he's just, yeah, and he's produced some High Templar now, but it's just been High Templar Dragoons. Another big attack happening in the middle of the map, but Ivy in the big advantage here. He's got the level 2 weapons upgrade, pushing up, and it's just level 1 armor, level 1 shield, interestingly enough, level 1 weapon. So that's right, I saw the three... the three forges in the upper left-hand corner. Now actually some mines being planted in the middle of the map. The Dragoons having to come all the way end around. And I don't think Ivy's going to be able to defend this upper left-hand base from this huge onslaught of tanks and vultures. He hasn't gone any sort of air, and he's not even going to... Now he's going to siege, but not even bothering to siege until they're in range, basically, of that expansion. And now it looks like the counterattack happening from Ivy. He's going to go to that bottom right-hand corner, try to take out expansions there. Some mines coming. They're going to take out a couple Zealots and a couple Dragoons. Actually, it's a 6 o'clock location that's most vulnerable here. It doesn't look like the reinforcements are going to be there in time to defend this. There's only a single siege tank in the meantime. A couple observers actually getting attacked. It looks like one observer getting taken out by a turret. But Ivy is going to be able to take out the 6 o'clock location, but at the sacrifice of basically 2 bases to 1. I still think he might come out ahead, because I think he might actually be able to push out in the main if he gets a move on here, because there's not a lot of siege tanks in position. I only see 3 siege tanks, and only one of them sieged. A lot of Zealots pushing up there, going across a large minefield. A lot of mines actually being led right into those tanks, and vultures in the meantime. And yeah, just only now 5 siege tanks going up against a control group and a half of Dragoons. I think Dragoons should be able to push up. Vultures going in and trying to stem the flow here, trying to create a blockade. It looks like they are going to be successful in doing so. And with that one maneuver, I think Saddist is going to take this. He's pummeling the upper left-hand base. He's also now pummeling the 12 o'clock location with the tanks. Looks like a Dark Templar starting to push up that location, but not in time to save that. So basically, ouch. Ivy is down to 2 bases. He's down to his main's completely mined out. Actually, not completely, but mostly mined out. He's only got about 6 probes mining there. His secondaries is only producing base, and in the meantime, all sorts of expansions up for Saddist. Saddist is mined. His main is completely out. His secondary is still producing though, and he's still got that bottom right-hand basin as well as the natural expansion at that location. I don't think Ivy has scouted that out at this point, although it's really not well defended. 9 o'clock position, also a command center going up. All sorts of SCVs for Saddist pushing out there. Saddist really just needs to establish perimeter, which is what he's doing right now, putting down some siege tanks, also getting some mines. There's what's left of Ivy's Dragoon force now completely wiped out, just relying on what is in the bank essentially. Try to defend against this. Those Templar are starting to push out in the field. I'm not sure what happened to those at Templar. I didn't see a single Psystorm actually out in the meantime. Looks like a probe starting to wander, so hunting for some bases. He's probably going to realize what a bad situation he's in once he sees... I think what he's thinking is at this point is, okay, sweet, well, I took out that 6 o'clock location, so it's even. It's just the natural expansion versus the natural expansion. He doesn't realize that those bottom right 2 bases were taken in the meantime by Saddist, so he doesn't realize that he's in an economic kind of slump. He's going to try to retake that 12 o'clock. He's going to have a hard time doing it against all these vultures and all these tanks, though. Too many Dragoons, in my opinion, not enough Zealots here to deal with this huge tank force. And again, I think this is, again, Ivy thinking, oh shoot, I'm not going up against 2 gas or multiple gas expansions. In the meantime, wow, expansions going up all over the place at the simultaneous for Saddist, so Saddist not letting up for 1 second. He does have some Dark Templar pushing in. They are going to be able to come up in proximity. We'll see if not a Psystorm, a Comsat will come off. Comsat is able to come off and kill the rest, but now that's GG by Ivy. Ivy realizing that, wait, there were some expansions I did not account for. I could not stop the production there. I don't know if that's for sure, but just trying to read his mind there. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Saddist, just through a beautiful maneuver, blocking, just keeping the flow from pushing into his base with reinforcements, takes the game. And wow, light going up. What's the score? 3-1 at this point. So a lot going to be on the line for, I'm sorry, actually 3-2 at this point. It was tied up 2-2. Now it's 3-2. I'll get the official score when I go into chat. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, thanks for listening.